Hi everyone, it's Eileen here, back again with another video. So today I thought that I would turn on the camera, even though I'm kind of busy these days, guys, working on all your cases. I really wanted to turn on the camera tonight and discuss some of your questions, going through some of your questions that you guys have left on YouTube. I've been wanting to do another Q&A video for quite some time now. It's been a few weeks, but other videos are in the works as well, so stay tuned for those. And yeah, I hope you are all having a wonderful week so far. For me, it's Wednesday, middle of the week. Catching up on a lot of work here with working with so many of you, so many cases going on of like many different chronic illnesses. And it's funny because usually when I'll get cases in you know, there's no rhyme or reason why this occurs. It's like I'll get like 3 or 4 cases back to back to back with the same health issues. So it's like you guys are like synchronistic, and I don't know, but it's the way of the universe. That's how it usually goes. So I notice like different topics coming up, and I definitely get ideas of what I want to cover in terms of video topics to discuss on this channel. So it's like really funny how those things work out. But yeah, I'm going to just jump right in and address some of your questions because I know some of you guys are suffering a lot and I want to do my best to help out. So here we go. Okay, the first question is, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season so far. Okay, and here's the thing, guys, like some of these questions are kind of old, so sorry about that, but we have like a long list of questions that we have to get through here, and I'm gonna do my best to record as much as possible the next few days. Okay, so I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season so far. Thank you. I hope you did as well. I love watching your YouTube videos and reading your blogs. They are so informative. Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy the blogs. I don't tend to write as much these days because simply I don't have the time working with so many of you one-on-one, and I thought that I'd dedicate most of my time through making videos. That way you guys have a little bit of both. That way you guys have written knowledge on detox that you can go to on the website and articles that you can read whenever you want, as well as having the video format, because I know some people like prefer one or the other. Anyway, my 11-year-old son has been complaining of his legs being very fidgety at night, which I'm assuming is RLS, restless leg syndrome. Yeah. Some nights are worse than others, and he says they are so uncomfortable, which prevents him from being able to fall asleep. So with restless leg syndrome, I personally experienced this myself in the past, as well as did my husband. With restless leg, we always see this common theme, especially in the clients that come to me. They always complain of having like either lower back weakness or lymph node swelling in the back or in the groin region or the hips. The lymph nodes will be backing up. And so what creates restless leg ultimately is lymphatic pressure, you know, because whenever you have lymphatic congestion in any area of the body, but especially an area that has a lot of nerve flow through it, then you're going to experience a disruption of that nerve flow. So the nerve flow going down the legs, that originates from the lower back region, so the sacrum and lumbar spine. So I'd probably look into that area, addressing that area, and ultimately to get rid of lymphatic congestion, everyone, is to get the kidneys to filter. So he's 11 years old. I don't know how ready he would be able to, like, you know, start consuming more raw foods to detox his body, but really what I'm sensing is his kidneys are not doing too good. And on top of that with the adrenals, because so many kids nowadays and children nowadays, they're suffering with major kidney and adrenal weakness, since that's a genetic weakness that's running in a lot of children and young adults today. So that's where I'm looking at this, where this restless leg syndrome is coming from. So you said some nights are worse than others, and he says they are so uncomfortable, which prevents him from being able to fall asleep. Yeah, I know. It's like a tension. It's like an itch that you can never reach, you know? And it's like you have to constantly move your leg because it's so uncomfortable. So I can understand where that's coming from. We got him a weighted blanket, which sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. You know, the thing with weighted blankets is it's kind of like a comforting thing, you know. Sometimes when you can apply weight, then it feels just so comforting to the body. So that was a good idea. But ultimately, you have to address what the root cause is. His legs never seem to bother him during the day, only at night. Someone mentioned I should get his blood drawn to see if he is anemic, but I was wondering what you would suggest. Thank you so much. Okay, so you know, this is what we see a lot, especially with other health issues and other health symptoms. A lot of people will complain about those health symptoms becoming more severe at nighttime as opposed to the daytime when they just wake up. And the reason for this is, if you think about it, at night when you're in bed, you're sleeping, you're fasting. The body has some time to regenerate. The body has some time to deal with the elimination of waste, you know? So when you're resting, you're not eating or consuming, you're saving your digestive energy, the kidneys start to open up and start to filter. At the same time, you're not moving your body. There's no activity happening when you're laying down, so you're not creating waste and acidic waste, right? So in the morning when you wake up, you can tend to feel better. During the daytime, when you're moving around, you tend to feel better. You know, the lymph system is moving, right? But then at nighttime, due to activity, due to stress put on the adrenals and the kidneys, due to eating foods, then these acids can build up, and then pains start to kick in, or in this case, restless legs can start to kick in. You know what I'm saying? So really what's gonna ultimately correct this is getting the kidneys to filter, and you'll want to check his urine, or he'll want to check his urine if he does plan on going on a detox program. Children can detox, like, you know, I've had so many clients, even like, you know, those with very chronic illnesses that come to me. You're never too young to detox. You just have to be aware of like the different levels of detox, depending on the age of the child. In this case, 11, you know, he can go on a raw food diet easily, and he can start excelling in all other areas, with his health, in school, in sports, in anything like that, and it'll be fantastic for him as well. So I would 100% recommend a raw food diet, and if he needs some balance, you know, he can have like some cooked vegan meals every now and then, but ultimately what's going to get his kidneys to filter is going to be raw foods, high in fruits, you know. What's in season now? Melons are coming into season. There's still some oranges. Grapes will be coming into season around like late April, May, hopefully, so you can get that. But berries would be extremely beneficial in this situation to address the adrenals, and melons are really great for the kidneys. And you know, all this, just astringent fruits and subacid fruits to be able to pump and move the lymph system. You could also try things like castor oil packs on the back of the lower back, and that might be able to relieve some inflammation in that area, tension in that area. But essentially, you'll definitely want to get on some herbal formulas too to address the kidneys and the adrenals and the lymph system. And you'd want to see if there's anything that's preventing his kidneys from filtering, because the kidneys themselves could be down. You could see that through, maybe, you know, you can check his blood pressure. You can see his other symptoms going on, if he complains of lower back weakness or pain, or if he has like puffy under eyes, or anything else that relates to kidney weakness. You can do that, but ultimately you'll want to check his eyes to see if he has any other gland weaknesses, pituitary gland weakness, anything else that's preventing him from filtering. You know, the herbs that you can use like herbal teas if he likes herbal teas, but I would definitely stick with like, you know, tinctures if he can tolerate them, you know. The kidneys, the lymph system, the endocrine balance formula is good. The basics of detox would be good in this situation, and just check to see if his kidneys are filtering. And then, yeah, that would clear right up. It's really just adrenals and kidneys, guys, when it comes to restless leg syndrome. So yeah, and as far as like You said someone mentioned I should get his blood drawn to see if he is anemic. You can get his blood drawn, but at the end of the day, if he's anemic, that's just an adrenal gland weakness and possibly some malabsorption going on. So anemia always stems from the inability of the adrenal glands to utilize minerals, in this case iron, you know. So if he's experiencing low energy, fatigue, shortness of breath, things like that, I would definitely recommend get his blood work checked, because he could be low in iron, low in hemoglobin, and then you know, that's pretty like serious. So if that's the case, you'll definitely want to go after his adrenal glands all the time, always, until those symptoms start to lift and correct themselves. Yeah, the adrenals are tied to so many different functions in the body, and once they go down, you can experience a lot of uncomfortable and unpleasant symptoms, to the point to where it can get chronic, right? So yeah, it's just sad, the level of adrenal weakness that so many people are experiencing nowadays. It's like almost every single case is adrenal glands all the time, you know. So an adrenal herbal formula would be very beneficial. And on top of that, he could have some malabsorption issues. So cleaning out his colon, I would already start to do that, because if he's had any form of like unhealthy eating the last 11 years that he's been alive, eating processed foods or animal products or breads or glutens or anything like that, you can best believe that there's some mucus formation lining the intestines, preventing him from absorbing nutrition, and so that can also have effect in whether or not he is anemic or is deficient in iron. So it's like you have to correct every system of the body, because all of them are tied together. It's just that some glands and organs are severely weakened, either genetically or created through this lifetime, and they need extra help, you know, especially to open up all the channels of elimination, so you can see some sign of symptoms getting better, you know. And you know, that's what I help people do as a detox specialist. I kind of piece all these puzzle pieces together to see where the root cause is coming from, so you can finally fully heal all your health issues. But yeah, thank you so much. That was a wonderful question, and I hope I was able to fully answer it. Thank you. Okay, I'm drinking some fresh squeezed orange juice, and it's so good. So good. Absolutely love it. It like, there's something about fresh squeezed orange juice that kind of like lights up your brain, your life, your heart. It's just so good. Okay guys, next question. Hello Eileen, I saw your YouTube channel and what you are doing to help people is really commendable. Thank you. I really like talking to you guys here and just sharing my knowledge and experience, because detox is just amazing and it's like the true way to heal every single health issue. So it's like, why wouldn't I share this information? It's so needed in today's world. So many people are suffering. You are awesome. Thank you. You're awesome. In a nutshell, I have a pretty big fibroid and the doctor recommended I have my uterus removed. Okay. I don't want to do that because I don't think that will handle why my body created it exactly. So you already know. What do you recommend to disintegrate it? I've been on the autoimmune protocol for over a year. I feel a lot better, but the tumor is still here and apparently growing. Oh, no. Thank you very much. A Merry Christmas to you and all your loved ones. Merry Christmas. So we're going through all the old questions, guys, and thank you so much for patiently waiting for these videos to come out. I appreciate it. But yeah, whenever you get a fibroid, you know, or these are interchangeable. Fibroids, cysts, tumors, all that just means that the lymph system is backing up in that region of the body and it's time to address it, you know, because the bigger it gets, like the problem is not going to go away. So essentially, how I would address this is internally with the diet and with the herbs, but also there's a few tools that you can use to disintegrate it. Realistically, the lymph system is just going to carry out the waste, you know, carry the waste away, and then with through the kidney channels, the kidneys opening up, then it'll start to dissolve on its own, right? But I would definitely grapes as hard as you can. And essentially lemons and limes disintegrate. They're the most powerful disintegrators and dissolvers in this entire planet, right? So and everything that I would drink, and honestly, I would probably do fruit juices at this point, because you want something aggressive and powerful without wasting too much digestive energy. So I would most likely be either juicing a lot, fresh raw fruit juice like oranges or melons or grapes, and adding to that lemon and lime juice, as many lemons and limes as you can handle it, in order to pump the lymph system, move the lymph system, and get the kidneys to filter. That's what I would recommend in terms of diet. Now, in terms of something that you could do as like a detox tool, I would honestly highly recommend the Heal All Tea. The Heal All Tea was especially designed to deal with issues like this. It was meant and designed to douche, to clean out the vaginal and uterus canal. So if you can do that every single day for 2 weeks, you'll see a lot of progress. And if you think about it, when it comes to women, that vaginal opening is just a port. It's just another port for the body to eject obstructions and acids and wastes out, you know? So it makes sense that we would want to utilize that opening and that port to be able to do that. So highly recommend douching. The lymph system will start to move and pull through there, and you'll be able to eject a lot of waste out. You know, definitely couldn't hurt, but I would recommend doing it for at least 2 weeks. Let me see what else. But yeah, you never want it to continue to grow, you know? That means that you're not eliminating the waste, you know? So even though the autoimmune protocol is probably making you feel a little better, at this rate, it's not moving the lymph system where you need it to be. And interestingly enough, you know, things that are closer to the kidneys are much easier to address and to dissolve. So if you have a tumor, like let's say on the ovaries, you know, or, you know, if you have inflammation in the uterine wall, things like that are easier to correct than issues that are in the upper body regions, because they're closer to the kidneys. So all the waste start to drain closer to the kidneys, you know, it makes sense. And then the head region is usually the last thing, that's the hardest thing to reach, right? So in this case, it should not be growing. If your diet is on point, it should not be growing and getting bigger. So I would honestly recommend you working with me, because you could be suffering and dealing with a lot of gland weaknesses that's preventing you from getting your kidneys to open up and filter, you know. I don't know what your understanding about detox is, but if you're new to detox, I would recommend, you know, looking at these videos, going over the basics, reading up on kidney filtration and all that stuff on my website. I have an article on kidney filtration. That's what you would want to do, you know. You may have to incorporate some fasting in here, but 100% you must be on a raw diet in order to be able to dissolve this fibroid. 100%, because whenever you add cooked foods into the diet, it doesn't matter if it's healthy cooked foods at this point. If you're trying to dissolve a fibroid or any type of stone in the body, you need the power of all raw and the magnetics and the energy and the astringency that comes from that. Cooked foods don't move and pump the lymph system. Cooked foods don't open up the kidney channels to filter. So that's what you really want to focus on. You didn't mention any other symptoms, you know? So I don't really know what other thing to say, what else to say about that. But yeah, I definitely recommend at least sticking with those basics and checking to see if your kidneys are filtering. They should be opening up sooner rather than later. You don't want to waste too much time. You don't want to mess around when it comes to things like this, because then you can do serious damage to the uterus and then the surrounding organs around that, right? So yeah, I hope that answers your question, but if you do want help, definitely reach out to me, send me an email, and you know, I can guide you in the right direction. But thank you so much for that question. Okay. I really missed answering these questions. It's been a little while since I've done a Q&A, but I really try and keep things interesting for you guys. I don't want it to be just like Q&A. I like variety. I like having fun on this channel. I like having something for everyone, you know. I know some of you may be here for the Q&As, or some of you are here just for the iridology videos, right? But that's why I try to offer a little bit of everything, you know. It's good to keep a balance of everything when it comes to life, you know. There's balance even found in detox. There's balance found after detox. There's balance that can be found in everything, even when it comes to work, fun, play, all that stuff, you know. It's always important to walk with balance. We always feel a lot happier when we do so, and we don't stress ourselves out too much. We feel more ourselves. We feel like we love ourselves more, and no resentment is held when we walk with balance, you know. So thank you for those that are definitely here, learning, caring about your health. We're all in this together, and yeah, I just want to express my gratitude, really. I've been feeling so grateful lately, to everyone that sends beautiful comments, beautiful messages. I read them all. I really appreciate it. Even though I don't have time to answer all of them, just know that I read all of them, and like, it's truly felt deep within my heart. Thank you so much for all the support. Reading sweet comments like that just always lights my fire and makes me just want to keep on making more videos. So thank you so much. Okay, so next question, guys. So number 3. Eileen, I have a question about sulfur. I have really bad breath that is deeper than brushing my teeth. Okay, so you mean that you can't really like take away the bad breath with brushing your teeth. I think the smell is coming from my butt. My butt. I think the smell is coming from my gut. I can't smell it, but I know others can. Okay, so you can't smell it. That's really interesting. Because if you can't smell it, then maybe your olfactory senses are not open, and you have a weakness there probably. Maybe somewhere in the brain. I'm wondering like how your vision is, how your sense of touch, taste is, things like that. How can I detox my body from this sulfur smell? I was thinking maybe taking garlic and honey or chlorophyll. Please help. Well, I definitely don't recommend garlic because garlic has sulfur compounds in it. You know, so you wouldn't want to take garlic because garlic is one of the smelliest things, one of the smelliest foods you can consume, right? There's a reason why, you know, in some cultures, they avoid garlic. In certain religions, they avoid eating garlic because it has a smelly nature, you know? So I don't recommend garlic. Honey, you're not really going to find anything with honey. I know honey, people say it's antibacterial, but this is not a bacteria issue. Honestly, it could be sulfur that's an issue that's making your mouth smell, but more likely than not, it's probably excess proteins in the body. Oftentimes when people's mouths smell, it's because they're forming tonsil stones. So you'll probably want to check to see if you have tonsil stones or any swelling here. See if your lymph nodes are swelling right here. If you're still eating animal products, you have to cut that out. Or even if you're still eating plant-based proteins, you must cut that out. Proteins have no room in the body when it comes to true health, you know. Beans, glutens, mock meats, real animal meats, dairy products, all that stuff will just form stones, tonsil stones, create smell, create bad body odor, you know, bacteria proliferation, all those things, you know, but you can't ever blame the bacteria. The bacteria are just there to clean up the mess because you're consuming proteins, right? So bacteria, they have that action to try and break it down, but at the end of the day, you're consuming phosphorus foods. You're consuming foods that are acid forming, and acid forming foods are smelly, you know? So I would cut those foods out if you're still consuming those foods. Chlorophyll is nice. It's very alkalizing. You can definitely do that. You can gargle with it. You can drink it. You can drink things like that. But ultimately, what's more powerful than chlorophyll is something that will move the lymph system. If you start consuming fruits, if you do have any tonsil stones, they'll be pushed out. They'll start pushing out right away. You'll like cough it up and it's really smelly, right? So that's what you'll want to do, is consume astringent fruits like oranges and apples and grapes and melons, things like that. If it is coming from your gut and if it is sulfur, then you'll definitely, even if it is or it isn't, actually, you'll definitely want to clean out your GI tract. You know, right here, from the mouth to the esophagus all the way to the stomach down, the entire GI tract runs all throughout the body. So you'll want to start using herbs found especially in the stomach and bowel formula and the GI room to start tugging on the lymph system in the gut, and also to clean out the colon, because this smell could also be coming from the fact that you have impacted stools, toxic matter inside your colon as well. You know, so you'll want to see during this whole detox, you'll want to be seeing mucus coming out of your stools, old stools coming out, all those waste matter coming out through your colon. You'll want to eliminate all that, and then you won't have any problems with bad breath or any bad odor coming out from anywhere. You know, just clean up your entire body and go aggressively. You shouldn't even be thinking about just adding things like garlic, honey, or chlorophyll in. Like something like this needs to be remedied aggressively, because just taking it, it's like a little patch, you know, it's like a band-aid, or like a treatment-based thinking. You don't want to do that, you know, because it doesn't ever address the root cause, right? So yeah, that's my take on it. And how you can tell if you have sulfur is if you start utilizing these tools, you know, the GI, broom, stomach, and bowel formula, eating fruits, then you should be seeing yellow or orange stool starting to come out, you know, through your colon whenever you go to the bathroom. And it'll usually smell very rancid or have like an egg-like smell, like a sulfur-like smell, right? And now that I think about it, you will probably want to consume fresh, raw apple juice. Make it more powerful, put lemon and lime juice, squeeze into it, to tell you the truth. That combination is really powerful at removing sulfur out of the GI tract and also cleaning out the digestive system. Apples are very high in enzymes, so they're fantastic for that, cleaning out the liver and the entirety of the GI tract. So that's how I would go with that. And yeah, you can fully expect to see things like tonsil stones popping out, and definitely, you know, start spitting up, like even congestion that you get, any congestion that you get out of the throat and the neck area. Once you start to detox, just spit it all out and let that stuff go. Yeah, so thank you for your question. I really hope that answered it. I do my best to answer these questions, guys, with the information that you give me. So I got a seed here. So I hope that they're helping. I hope that these Q&A videos are helping you guys out in your own lives, working on yourselves. That's why I do these videos, so that all of you can get your health back. You know, I know what it's like to have so many years of searching for answers. And it's like, it's always hidden. Like the truth is always hidden, you know? It's unfortunate, and that's why so many people are suffering. But really, you have to take health back into your own hands. I know all of you watching right now, that's what you're doing. That's why you're watching these videos, is to educate yourself, because you know that, you know, the answers cannot be found in the medical industry or doctors or even nutritionists or magazines or, you know, TV. You'll never find truth there. Maybe a half truth, but not a full truth, in order to heal your body. So I always say, like, how far are you willing to go in order to heal your health issues? Because it does require giving up a lot of things that we are all addicted to. For quite some time, you have to give it up to fix your health issues. And then after that, then you can like not be so strict. After you heal your health issues, then you can go back to following, a bit of a balanced diet and not have to be so strict, but still realize, the human body, humans are meant to eat a certain diet of high fruits and high raw in order to maintain the health within our glands and organs. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's just what we always see and what I've constantly seen with the thousands of people that I've worked with already. So yeah, take it from me and take it from someone that healed a chronic and degenerative illness. This is the highest way of healing, and you have to want it very badly in order to achieve the results that you want. There's no quick fix in this world. It doesn't exist. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next question. Hi, I wondered if you could help me. I'm suffering from numerous health problems, severe allergies, severe PMT, and the latest, I have developed a lump in throat feeling. I have trouble swallowing, breathing. I feel my pulse through my nose. I have been to the accident and emergency room because of this. The nurse there just sent me home saying she couldn't look down my throat as they didn't have the equipment. Okay, so let's stop right here. This is a lot of symptoms, okay? We're gonna break this down and see what the correlation is. So severe allergies, I already know you're lymphatically congested from head to toe. Your sinuses are probably completely blocked with lymphatic waste. Your adrenal glands are probably down because whenever you have severe allergies, you don't have the anti-inflammatory steroids that the adrenals produce to be able to combat allergies. So most likely that's what you're having. Severe PMT. So if you have any PMS, PMT health issues, I would check your pituitary gland since that controls the menstrual cycle and the menstrual system, and also see if you have like ovarian weakness, uterus weakness. Those can usually be found in your other symptoms, or really to see the degree of how bad it is, you really have to check your eyes through iridology and see if you have a lesion in these areas. But more likely than not, I'm sensing you probably have a pituitary gland weakness. For pituitary gland weaknesses, if you're really tall or if you're short, under, like if you're 5'6" and under, if you're 5'4", 5'2", if you have several gland weakness symptoms going on in your body, then most likely you have pituitary weakness. Or at the same time, if you got your menstrual cycle early on in life or super late in life, like if you got it 10, 11, 12, or maybe at the age of like 16, 17, then yeah, pituitary weakness. So I would definitely look at that. Okay, let's see what else we have here. And the latest, I developed a lump in throat feeling. I have trouble swallowing and breathing. I feel my pulse through my nose. So again, we have congestion in the head. If you're already feeling the pulse through your nose, you know that that's lymphatic pressure building and blocking on the blood flow. Lymph pressure affects blood flow and nerve flow. Those are the three flows of the body. So that's what we see if you can feel the pulse through your neck. Trouble swallowing, that is indicative to me of inflammation in the esophageal wall. So you have to be careful with that, because if the lymph system is so backed up interstitially up here, then you can already kind of guess that it's backed up in the stomach and backed up in the colon and the intestines, backed up in the appendix, backed up everywhere, So that could be why you're having trouble swallowing, is just inflammation and lymphatic congestion in that region. Closing off the air passageways, breathing. But at the same time, here's the thing. If you have trouble swallowing and breathing, those two actions are autonomic nervous system actions, things that you don't really have to think about. And so that part of the brain that controls things like that, swallowing, coughing, blinking, hiccuping, breathing, heartbeat, all those things are controlled by the brainstem, the medulla of the brain. So maybe you have a brain lesion there if I were to look at your eyes. Okay, let's see what else. Lump in throat feeling. Okay, I feel my pulse through my nose. I have been to the accident and emergency room because of this. The nurse there just sent me home saying she couldn't look down my throat as they didn't have the equipment. Okay. I had some food stuck in my throat. Okay, so you're having trouble swallowing. I'm sensing, it could be either one or a combination, medulla weakness, brainstem weakness, vice versa, or at the same time, swelling and you're just not able to pass the food through. So swelling of the neck region. You probably have some lymph node swelling there too that you'd want to reduce. Okay, I have an endoscopy on Tuesday and barium swallow test as well. Okay, barium swallow test. So barium is it's a chemical, so I probably don't recommend that. If it were me, I probably wouldn't take it. I wouldn't ingest anything because you never know if you have a severe nervous system weakness or adrenal gland weakness to where you can't handle any sort of chemical or heavy metal. That itself could create reactions in your body, things like nausea or trouble breathing, and you don't want to have an episode like that, So better safe than sorry. It's better to really just address these weaknesses, address the lymph system. At the end of the day, even if they find, damaged cells, mutated cells, or if they find inflammation or blood or, it's all going to be addressed the same way, aggressively going after the lymphatic system with the raw food diet. I need to know what this is. I keep feeling sick and faint too. Okay, so sick and faint. So if you're feeling faint, I'm wondering if it's faint like dizziness, vertigo, equilibrium issues. That could be pointing to a cerebellum weakness, So you're probably someone that has many brain lesions, I'm guessing. So brainstem weakness, cerebellum weakness, check. Most likely I'd have to look at your eyes and then you'd have to address all that. Always feeling sick. Always feeling sick can tend to tie to lymphatic congestion. Of course, we know you have that. But people that are always run down always have a thymus gland weakness. The thymus gland is responsible for producing T cells in the body that control the immune response that, are able to attack, like bacteria, viral loads, things like that, to prevent you from getting sick. So perhaps you have that as well. Let me see what else. Sick, faint. Yeah, that's probably what I would say. That's where that might be coming from. Faint could also be from maybe blood sugar issues, perhaps maybe some neurotoxicity as well. If you have a neurotoxicity in the gut wall or in the glands, that can also cause you to feel faint. Perhaps you have low blood pressure. You should check your blood pressure. If you're running low, like if the top number is in the low hundreds, anything lower than 120 will be low blood pressure essentially. And the lower that number is, the more reason that you may feel faint. Some people have to eat smaller meals more often throughout the day just to keep their blood pressure and energy up and not feel faint, So I'm seeing a lot of weaknesses with what you're describing. I had my tonsils and adenoids removed when I was a child. That right there explains everything. So the tonsils and the adenoids are major lymph nodes of the body, major sewer sites that help address and break down waste that the lymphatic system carries. The lymph nodes are the sites where it has beneficial bacteria and macrophages that help break down the acids before they're sent to the kidneys to be filtered out of the body. So whenever you have that removed, unfortunately, early on in life, tonsils and adenoids, they tend to get removed because, if you're a child, you may have ear infections, you may complain of ear pains, you may have enlarged tonsils, and then you go to the doctor and they'll usually recommend your parents or yourself to get them removed. And so they say it's not essential, you won't even miss them. Nope. These are the conditions that creates, because those tonsils were helping you to drain all the waste out of the neck area. That's what they're responsible for. You take those away and your lymphatic system becomes compromised in this region. And then you lymphatically back up in the head, all the way in the head. So it's unfortunate that tonsils are so often removed. Okay, yeah, you got it removed when you were a child. I read on Google about throat cancer. I'm scared. Okay, so here's the thing. These symptoms don't mean that you have throat cancer, okay? It could just be inflammation. However, if you don't do anything about it now, it could develop into something like throat cancer because acids burn, acids mutate cells. Cells cannot survive in this acidic environment, so then they start to mutate. So that's what is known as cancer by the medical industry. What you really have to do is, honestly, in this scenario, I would start just drinking the 3-lung tea. The 3-lung tea is very powerful and aggressive at moving the lymph system all throughout the body, but especially when it comes to the neck, the sinus region, the head region, the chest. The upper body is its main key in going after, So I would be drinking that at least 2 cups twice a day, or 2 cups 3 times a day. I would be drinking that in order to expectorate all this mucus. There's no doubt in my mind that you have a lot of congestion here. And so during your detox, if you're seriously going to go after this, you'll be experiencing a lot of coughing up of mucus and spitting of mucus. And it'll look yellow, green, brown. You might have some blood mixed in there with whatever you spit. That's perfectly natural, given that you're probably losing a lot of calcium in this area. The blood gets released by the capillaries. That's natural. But at the same time, there's soothing herbs to be found in the formulas, in the 3-lung tea and the heal-all tea, they're soothing. So you don't have to worry about that, except hydrating the body is very key. With the fruits and the raw foods, then that won't be an issue. Okay, so you don't have to be scared. Just go after all of this. And the swelling will go down, and then you'll be able to swallow again. You won't get food stuck in your throat anymore. I've been exposed to chronic stress for 3 years. Mold exposure, strong fire retardants for months. From the camp beds, as had to throw them away. They kept popping, so had to replace. I bought a memory foam mattress thinking it would be better, but it smelled so bad of chemicals. Okay, so let's stop right there. Taking it from the top. Chronic stress. So chronic stress for 3 years, that's an insane amount of time to always be in stress, So what I find is whenever we're in chronic stress, it damages our glands over time. The adrenal glands are definitely affected, and even having weak adrenal glands correlates with our inability to respond to stress in a healthy way, right? So that's one thing. But another thing is with stress, that's low levels of emotions that you're experiencing, so hence why you feel that lump in your throat. Low level emotions oftentimes damage the thyroid gland over time. This is why we see a lot of thyroid gland weaknesses nowadays, is because people are experiencing things like, depression, anxiety, stress on a constant day-to-day basis. This damages the thyroid gland over time. So yeah, this is what we're dealing with this case. Mold exposure. Okay, so mold exposure, mold in itself doesn't necessarily affect everyone the same way. It only really negatively impacts people that have lymphatic stagnation within their bodies. And you definitely do, since you had your tonsils removed and with all these symptoms. So on top of that, you have mold exposure going on. That can also be causing symptoms. But at the same time, mold exposure itself doesn't cause all the symptoms that you're dealing with. So there's a lot of confusion nowadays. Mold exposure isn't the reason for health issues. It always comes back to lymphatic stagnation in the body and the inability of the body to remove waste. It's like the same thing as blaming something on viruses or bacterias. That's not the case. It always comes back to the lymph system and gland weaknesses not doing their job in the body. Okay, so strong fire retardants for months, chemical toxicity there, that can bring down the autonomic nervous system. You could still have that inside your body. Not good. Okay. I bought a memory foam mattress thinking it would be better, but it smelled so bad of chemicals, I had to throw it away. Okay, so if you are already that sensitive to chemicals, usually it means that you have those chemicals within you in overabundance. So people that are normally very sensitive to neurotoxins or pesticides and the like, or smells like gasoline or anything like that, it's because they have an overabundance of that in their body because they're so lymphatically backed up. So with the raw food diet and detox, you're able to pull on these things and the body will eliminate every foreign matter that's in it, you know. The lymph system, that's its job, is to move away all the waste out of the body. Thinking it would be better, but it smells so bad of chemicals, I had to throw it away. Okay, I have heartburn too. I'm not working due to a hernia in my belly button. Okay, so with heartburn, acid reflux, it could be a few things. So true heartburn is actually a pancreas weakness. If you have a pancreas weakness really bad, it means you're not producing sodium bicarbonate, which, you know, that neutralizes stomach acid. So over time, if you have acid reflux or heartburn, that burn can damage the esophageal wall, right? So that's one thing. The other heartburn that people normally think it's heartburn, but it's not true heartburn, is actually just interstitial lymphatic constipation within the entire lining of the GI tract, reaching up into the esophagus and actually creating a burn just from the acids, just from acidic waste and cellular waste, you know? So it could be one of those two things, to tell you the truth. But the only way to neutralize it is to go after the lymphatic system, pump the lymph system. I'm not working due to a hernia in my belly button. Hernias, I already can tell you have weaknesses right here. Probably damage to the thyroid, but this right here is a parathyroid gland weakness. So parathyroid glands, they are responsible for utilizing calcium in the body. Our bodies are constantly losing calcium back and forth every day. You know, calcium is a neutralizer of acids, but if you have a parathyroid gland weakness, you cannot put back that calcium that was lost, you know? You're supposed to put back the calcium lost. In this case, with this connective tissue weakness in that region of the body, that's why you get hernias. You can get hernias, hemorrhoids, prolapsing, all those things with a parathyroid gland weakness. I'm on disability benefits, but they're due to stop. I live in the UK. Please write me back. I've watched your health videos on YouTube. I was impressed. Thanks. Okay, so I hope all this helped out. So essentially, whatever you can get in terms of the herbal formulas based on the weaknesses that I mentioned while going through your symptoms, then do it, you know, as much as you can. If whatever you can afford, but I would definitely get the 3-lung tea. I would definitely get something for my kidneys, adrenals, and lymph system to start pulling on that. I'm sensing a lot of brain and nervous system weaknesses, so probably get the brain and nerve formula as well. Or if you can too, the upper circulation formula to move lymph and move the herbs up there to correct any brain lesions in case you have those. But yeah, you're going to want to be on a raw diet in order to move the lymph system. If this is a serious case, you know, not being able to swallow, so you'll want to move and think about moving and focusing towards an all fruit diet, maybe some fasting coupled with that, whatever you can handle, right? But if you are feeling lost, if you try all this and you know you're still feeling lost, I would recommend that you reach out to me to work with me one-on-one whenever you can, you know. But I did cover everything that you possibly can be dealing with, so go with that. If you have things like neurotoxicity, like I feel like you are getting, you know, do you have heavy metals? Maybe you have mercury amalgams in your mouth that can be causing things like feeling like faint and dizziness and all these symptoms that you experience. If you do, you have to try and limit your exposure to chemicals or pesticides or heavy metals as much as possible. So removing mercury amalgams, getting something like porcelain fillings, or things that are not going to negatively impact the nervous system. I would stay away from non-organic fruits. I would buy fruits organic, especially ones that are notoriously heavily sprayed with pesticides. So things like apples, grapes, berries, those you should buy organic, since they don't have a thick peel that you can peel off, right? And I would definitely stay away from anything to do with any chemicals. So like, any powerful smells, perfumes, non-organic salad, that can also have you feeling faint and have you trouble breathing, trouble swallowing. Again, that's an autonomic nervous system response. So I'm definitely sensing a lot of neurotoxicity in your body. So you're going to want to be on all fruits. Fruits help push neurotoxins out. At the same time, you can do some green juices, some greens like parsley, dandelion, a little bit of celery, apple, any type of raw green in there that will help neutralize acids from neurotoxicity. And you can do that to kind of like balance out or help you out with some detox symptoms. But they could also help the kidneys to filter, since parsley is really good for the kidneys. But yeah, that's what I would definitely do. And get that 3-lung tea, because that would be a way for you to address the issue head on and move the lymph system. And you can also gargle with that and find a lot of relief. So yeah, thank you so much for this question. I really hope I was able to fully answer it in this video, and that you take away something from this and apply the advice that was said here, definitely. So thank you so much. Okay, so I'm gonna do one last question, guys. Can't tire myself out too much because I have so much work to do. It's 10:56 at night, and yeah, it's gonna be a long night for me of work. Okay, last question. I keep experiencing a burning tightness in my shoulders and neck, particularly after eating lots of melon. Melon seems to make me eliminate yellow foam. Iris shows lots of sulfur in my transverse colon and upper torso. Is it possible the pain I'm experiencing is sulfur or acids being pulled? Okay, so tightness in shoulders and neck, that just means you have a lot of acidic waste in those regions, the shoulders and the neck region. You see what I'm seeing here? Whenever people have tightness in the shoulders and the neck region, they'll usually experience numbing down their extremities. Same thing goes for the first question that we answered in this video with the restless leg syndrome. Lymphatic congestion and acids impact the nerve flow and the blood flow to the extremities. So if it's pretty bad, then you're probably did experience this at some point, definitely. So you want to be able to move all these acids out. For sure. Burning is always an indication of acidosis. So there's 2 times when you will be experiencing a burning or a symptom, okay? The first one is when you created this, At some point in your life, you experienced this burning and tension, When you were creating it. You probably ignored it, or, something like that. That's the first way that people experience symptoms like this. The second way is when they're actually removing the cause, removing the acids, and reversing the condition itself. That's what's known as a detox symptom, the re-experiencing of that symptom of when it was created. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely that's a detox symptom you're experiencing. And melon, after eating melons are very aggressive, especially if it's watermelon. They're very astringent. That red color is a sign of how aggressive they are, and they start pulling on acids, because watermelons are such a magnificent alkalizer of the body, So yeah, I've definitely heard of that. I've heard of people experiencing stomach pains after eating melons because they just pull on everything, they're very aggressive pullers. Melons seems to make me eliminate yellow foam. Exactly, because melons also address the GI tract so well. Iris shows lots of sulfur in my transverse colon. Yeah, I'd be curious to see your eyes. Sulfur will look like a neon yellow or orange around the pupil. So yeah, that would be really interesting if you're already starting to remove that. Um, Sulfur is usually eliminated two ways, right? It's usually eliminated through the colon. You'll see yellow or orange stools, like we said before, and it'll smell rancid. Or I have also seen it eliminated through the skin, surprisingly, because sulfur is often a preservative or an additive found in lotions and body care products, or preservatives found in foods that we consume, like packaged foods, even some juices, even some dried fruits, things like that. And also sulfur is found in antibiotic medications or sulfur drugs. So there's that link between the skin, the GI tract. So usually sulfur is eliminated that way. If you're eliminating yellow foam, I don't know if you meant if that's your urine or if that's your stool. But if that's your urine, foam is just an indication of eliminating proteins. So that's a good sign. Okay. Is it possible the pain I'm experiencing is sulfur or acids being pulled? Yes, both. You know, I always say this, those that have sulfur or have had a lifetime of consuming sulfur medications, they truly are the ones that suffer the most. And I really feel like my heart goes out for each person that has this or that has experienced this, because it's a lot of suffering. It's a lot of suffering consuming sulfur medications that suppress the lymphatic system, that lock it, that harden it, that tighten it, and it can be painful experiencing detox symptoms when detoxing sulfur. So definitely hang in there. But it's going to be sulfur and acids. They're pretty much interchangeable because sulfur is an acidic gas and acids create a burning feeling. So whether that's sulfur or acids, something is definitely coming out, and it's going to be both, because you can't have sulfur without having acids interstitially. It's not possible. You know, the whole reason why you will have sulfur in your body is because your lymph system is suppressed. And if the lymph system is suppressed, then acids are not being removed. And so you'll definitely have acids in your transverse colon and upper torso, you know? So yeah, definitely that's being pulled. If it's too much for you, then you can slow things down or you can speed things up. So for instance, let's say if you're eating melons, or maybe you're on a melon fast, you know, I can tell you and advise you to, if you want to slow things down, you can. You can start eating the next level down, like some salads or some cooked vegetables, and that'll start slowing or stop your detox so that you can recuperate before hitting the melons hard again. Or maybe perhaps you want to try a less aggressive approach, not completely stopping or slowing down your detox, but trying another fruit. You know, if it is too painful for you. If it's not that painful and you can endure it, you can keep on going. You know, the other option is to speed up your detox, right? And just keep on going. I would probably say utilize the herbal formulas like the GI broom. If it is sulfur, lymphatic capsules is a good thing to use. The stomach and bowel formula is excellent. Just anything to open up the channels of elimination. And like I said before, you can slow things down or you can speed things up. You can try some other form of other form of fasting, either dry fasting or maybe fasting with another fruit will help you calm things down a little bit. You know, the subacid fruits, give those a try. You can try things like grapes or apples or pears or berries, and that might still detox you but be more gentle. So it's up to you. If it were me, I would probably keep on with the melons and then add the GI broom and see all the sulfur come out, because sometimes you have to take advantage of that. When the body is ready to eliminate so readily, then you should just run with it and go with it, because then at the end of the day, then that's something that you don't have to deal with anymore. You know, once all these wastes come out of your body, then you're done, you know? So yeah, I hope that answered your question. And yeah, that's it, guys. I only answered 5 questions, and this video might be on the shorter side, I'm not sure, but I'll check when I edit this video later on. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to leave it a like, if you enjoyed this video, leave it a like. If you're new to this channel, subscribe. I try to come out with new videos every single week to educate all of you on how to detox yourself, how to get your life back, how to heal your chronic health conditions. So many people are out there suffering, so this information is just so important, and it's life-saving very often, you know. So if any of you would like to work with me one-on-one, you can go to www.spiritTropicalhealing.com, and on the website there's a tab that's the services tab. There you'll find the Master Your Health package. That's the package that I do recommend most people, because with that package you get a consultation with me one-on-one where we discuss your entire health history, so we can put all these puzzle pieces together to see what the root cause is, where it's coming from. With that, and reading your eyes and seeing all your symptoms, I create a perfect diet protocol, what you need to follow right now to address your weaknesses and your health issues, an herbal protocol, everything that you'll need to take, and you also get an iridology report with that, as well as detox tools recommendations. So it's like the perfect start for you to start detoxing your body as deeply as possible. And detox is the way, detox is the key. If you address all the weaknesses, there's nothing you can't heal. Okay, guys? So take care. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. Know that I love you. I care for you so much. You're going to get through this. You're going to detox your illness, and you're going to come out through the other side strong, happy, healthy, and full of vibrancy and joy. Okay, guys? Take care. Love you. Bye.